Hey KU fans, welcome to Salt Lake City Vivint Smart Home Arena.
Oh, I was going to say the Delta Center.
That's what it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to call it that.
I'm
then.
sure the fine folks at Delta Airlines appreciate you saying that. Either way, it's the home of the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, there's a Karl Malone, number 32,
yes.
and a John Stockton, number 12, right up there.
Don't you say. Amazing. And a Jeff Hornacek, Big 12 fame.
Well, whatever. Talk about the important guys.
Whatever, this guy. Either way, it is the home of the Jazz, but this week it's home to the NCAA tournament and the 4-13 matchup between Kansas and Northeastern. 3 p.m. tip-off Central Time on Thursday. A little different territory for Kansas, not only being the 4 seed, but also being in Utah.
Yeah.
And a lot of different.
Can't drive to Utah if you're Kansas.
You can.
I mean, you could.
We know some media members who did.
It would have taken the team a while to get here, so they flew.
Good move.
But I mean, it's so much different, like you mentioned, from past years where they just go to Oklahoma or Des Moines or Wichita even.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice and easy. This is completely different, and I think we got a pretty good glimpse of what tomorrow might be like in this arena. Today at the open practice. They always call it a practice, which is hilarious because it's just a shoot around.
They're just practicing their shots.
Practicing their shots. There you go. But I mean, there were basically no KU fans here.
So last year, you remember this, you guys do too, 14,000 people on practice day in Wichita. Obviously it's in the home state of Kansas, but still 14,000. I mean, the top levels were full. It was amazing to see that. Today, I don't even think there were 140 KU fans.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
So
I don't know if there were 14.
Well, there you go. That could be. The band played, the cheerleaders got it going, and there were a few sitting right here actually, jollying with Udoka, who did not shoot around. But yeah, I mean, it was a stark contrast between the two, and it was. You said it. It was a definite reminder that this is unfamiliar territory. This is not home, or even regional like Kansas is used to. I wrote about that in my game day previewing the game. I wonder how much of an impact that'll have. You know, the 4 seed is something that's on paper. The city, that's different, right? There's tangible things that happen with that. And if you don't have a crowd, you know, the crowd support that you're used to having, it either means it's more empty and less juiced, as Self would say, or it means that everybody else in that building, if the game's closed, is rooting for the underdog, rooting for the upset. That's what March Madness is all about.
Yeah.
And so Kansas, in my opinion, can't mess around with this game being close. If it is, the Syracuse fans that are here will start rooting for Northeastern. The Gonzaga fans that are here will start rooting for Northeastern. I don't know that the Baylor fans, if there are many, I don't know that they would, but the rest of them will. And so I think it's important for KU to get out fast, get a lead, and hang on to it, and not let that close competitive game become a factor, because this atmosphere, this arena, the crowd could play a role.
Yeah, I'm going to be real interested to see what the crowd makeup is tomorrow, because to me it seems like this is enough removed from all these programs that are here playing that they could just be a lot of just basketball fans, you know, who want to experience the NCAA tournament. And if that's the case, like you mentioned, that could also could work against KU, because what's March Madness about? Upsets.
Right.
And 13 versus a 4, that's an upset. So Northeastern gets hot, makes a little run. Will the building start to turn against KU?
Yeah,
or
literally
just be
turn. Literally turn.
KU will feel like they're spinning if they get down against Northeastern.
Well saved. That was nice. Let's talk about KU real quick. Anything jump out at you? We were obviously in the locker room today. We did watch them shoot around. I think they're doing their best to be loose and confident. Those two don't always go hand in hand, but I think these young guys that don't know what this is about are going through the motions, trying to prove that we're not worried. We do know what this is about. We're not freshmen anymore. We understand this. I think that's great. I think you can say it, and I think you can mean it. I don't think it's actually true, though, until you get out here, and then that's when we'll see. But I thought they did a good job of sort of putting up a united front that, hey, we're loose, we're confident, we're ready.
They did seem loose. I mean, all the guys that I talked to today, I don't know if it's the same for you, but they did seem loose, and I think that's important for this group.
For sure.
I mean, there's nothing could be worse for a team that has struggled over the past couple months than to end this game stressed or worried about what could go wrong. You know? So I think they have the right mindset right now, and obviously we won't know how everyone reacts until the game actually starts. But I feel like they're in a pretty good mental space heading into this thing.
Three-point shooting is a huge key. One thing that jumped out was Bill Self on the podium today talking about, obviously this team, Northeastern, shoots 38.8%. They got 4 guys that shoot 40 or above. I mean, these guys are good. What he pointed out that I hadn't noticed is they all have quick releases. And he says you might be able to close out. You might do a great job of closing out, but these guys, they don't dip when they shoot. They just catch and shoot, catch and shoot. That means your good closeout might not be there in time still. Right. So that's something that I know Kansas has really emphasized in practice this week. Just harassing them, getting them out of rhythm, getting them out of catch and shoot situation. If you make them catch and put it down or make a move or move to get space, that's a different story. Then they can't just catch and release. So that was something that jumped out. And the other thing that really jumped out that was just a brief thing, but it really surprised me. Someone asked Marcus Garrett in the locker room about the elevation. Utah, the mountains are all around us. It's about 4,000 feet above sea level, I think, which is far above Lawrence. I hadn't even thought about the elevation. I thought it was a great question, and Marcus Garrett said we didn't really think about it too much, but it was on my mind, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. So, you know, Colorado, that game used to be an altitude thing. When people go play in Denver or in Boulder, they make a big deal of the altitude. So that was a great question and an interesting answer from Garrett. Any other thoughts? Any other moments like that you encountered?
I just like that Mitch Lightfoot was really enjoying this.
Yeah.
I mean, why shouldn't he? You know, he's kind of like the
father figure.
The old man of the group, the father figure, yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's not a guy who's going to play a ton, you know. But when he does, they're usually meaningful minutes, and he usually provides something that helps KU get to a victory potentially.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's good probably for the guys around him to see how comfortable he is in this setting, because there's like all this extra stuff that comes with like talking to the media all day and things like that aren't a normal part of your routine as a player. And now you're experiencing this for the first time. I think it's probably good that he's so comfortable in this setting, and maybe probably makes it easier for those other guys.
Yeah, look, he started KU's first 2 NCAA games last year. Yeah, I mean, so it is probably not an act. He probably is truly comfortable. Yeah. He's a year older. It's more his team now, or at least partially his team. I agree. I thought that was pretty cool. So a loose locker room, a confident bunch. The bottom line with this team, and then we'll get out of here, the bottom line is they've got to play well. If they have a subpar game, they will not survive it. This Northeastern team's good enough to beat them, but I think if they both play their best games, I think Kansas wins.
Yeah, Kansas should win if that's the case. I think Northeastern has had enough defensive issues this year that Kansas should be able to score. Now, obviously the most important thing is going to be KU just limiting their 3-point touches. And with the release, like you mentioned, how much can you just
take it away?
Yeah,
they're going to get their shots.
Run them off the line if you can. Yeah. I mean, just make them score in the paint, make them go get layups, make them beat you off the dribble, rather than having them in their comfort zone, firing 3-pointers and hitting them at a high rate.
Yeah, that each one they make, I think, will tighten the screws on KU just a little bit. Even the first one, if they go up 3-0, that tightens it a little bit, because all week Kansas has heard about how good this team is shooting. The last thing they wanted to do is go out and make 4 or 5 of their first 5 or 6. If they do that, it tightens, and then you've got a dog fight on your hands. But if Kansas can get out fast, atmosphere or not, energy or not, fan support or not, I think that'll be a huge, huge factor in this game. We'll be here, of course, all day tomorrow. There's a game before that, Auburn and New Mexico State, which is a good game. And Kansas or Northeastern, the winner of that gets the winner of the other one. So should be fun, should be interesting. It's tournament time. It's always fun and interesting. For Benton Smith, I'm Matt Tate at the Vivint Smart Home Arena, the Delta Center. Carl Malone. We'll talk to you guys again real soon on KU Sports Extra. Enjoy the tournament.